Hello everyone, this is Sara and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video is a very special request from a very special friend. She asked me if I could make some Hanukkah patterns that were simple and easy that she could give away as party favors for her Hanukkah party. So I have two patterns that we're going to do today. The first one is going to be this really simple and easy coffee cup cozy. Now this is great for teacups or glasses because it has the button that you can adjust to fit any size mug or cup. And that's for the adults. For the children, I designed just this simple little Gelt bag that they can put their little trinkets and toys and their gold coins in, and take both of these home as wonderful remembrances of the fun time they had at your Hanukkah party. And as always, these are a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make the mug cozy and the Gelt bag, we're going to be using worsted weight number 4 yarn, and the yarns that I chose are Red Heart with Love. They're a little softer than the Super Saver, but you can use Super Saver, and you can also use any of the cotton yarns that you like. Sugar and Cream or I Love This Cotton, they work just fine for both of these projects. For the cozy, you are going to need a button, and that button needs to be about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And I like to use the ones that have the little, they call these little top hats on the bottom. That way you can sew through and it sits up a little. But if you use one that has the holes in it, that's fine too. I just prefer this style. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook. This is an H8, which is a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. And then you're also going to need a needle. You're going to need to weave in your ends, sew on your button, and then embroidery on our star. The coffee cozy measures about 12 inches long and about 4 inches long. Some of them I've made have not come out to quite 4 inches, so it just depends on how tightly that you stitch. The bag measures about 6 inches long and about 4 inches across this way. So they're both relatively small items to make, and you can whip a whole bunch of these up with just a couple of skeins of yarn. We're going to begin first with the mug cozy. And you can decide whether you want to make the body of the cozy white and the star in the trim blue, or you can do it the opposite for Hanukkah colors. Now, if you wanted to make this in Christmas colors and make this red and green and make your star yellow, that would be wonderful also. So it is really versatile whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or any holiday. You could use this coffee cozy as a party favor. Since I'm doing this first off for my friend, although I hope you enjoy it as well, I'm going to be making my coffee cup cozy in the white and trimming it in blue. So we're going to start with our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 11 chains. Then we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the second chain from the hook. This is our first chain and this is our second. We're going to yarn over, go in that second chain, and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull that loop through all 3 of those loops. That's a 1/2 double crochet. So we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in each of the chains across. This is going to give us 10 half double crochets. because we skipped that first chain. We chained 11 and we began stitching in the second chain from the hook, so we'll have 10 half double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1, and the chain 1 does not count as a stitch on this project. We're going to begin stitching right in this first half double crochet with a half double crochet. So we'll yarn over, go in that stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3 of those loops. Now we'll place 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across, making sure that we only have 10 half double crochets. Once we've stitched our 10 half double crochets, we're going to chain 1 and turn again. And we're going to repeat this, stitching 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1 and turn. And we're going to repeat this until we reach row 18. So we want to have 18 rows of 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1 and turn. And this is the body of our coffee cup cozy. So we're going to continue, chain 1, turn, 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across. Chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do this through row 18. Chain 1, turn, 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1, turn, and repeat until we reach row 18. Once we've stitched our 18 rows, we're going to turn and we're going to do the tab portion where we do our decreases. So we chained 1 and turned, and now we're going to yarn over. We're going to put our hook through the first half double crochet and pull up a loop. And then we're going to put our hook in the next half double crochet and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. We'll yarn over and go through all 4 of those loops. And what we've done here is we took 2 half double crochets and made it into 1, and that's called a half double crochet decrease, or stitching 2 half double crochets together. Now we're going to stitch half double crochets across until we reach the last 2 half double crochets. And here are our last 2 half double crochets, and we're going to repeat what we did here. Yarn over, go in that stitch and pull up a loop. Then we'll go in the next stitch, which is the last stitch of the row, and pull up a loop. We'll yarn over and go through all 4 of those loops, chain 1 and turn. And you can see that it's already starting to move in a little bit. We're going to repeat this. Yarn over, go into the first loop and pull up a loop. Go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, go through all 4. There we go. And then we'll half double crochet across until we reach the last 2 half double crochets. There we go. Here's our last 2 half double crochets, and we're going to stitch another half double crochet decrease. Yarn over, go in the stitch and pull up a loop. Then we'll go in the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over. We'll go through all 3 of those loops, chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do this one more time. Yarn over, go in the first stitch, pull up a loop, go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those loops. Then we're going to have double crochet in those next stitches, and then we'll do a half double crochet decrease in these last 2 stitches. And I know it looks a little messy, but that's why we're going to trim it. But this is how it decreases down to make the tab. All right, so now we're going to turn. We've already chained 1. And we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each of those 4 half double crochets. There we go. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Now, on this row, we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each of those 4 half double crochets. And 4. And then we're going to chain 4. And this is going to cause us to have a button loop. So we're going to turn our work. We're going to skip those 2 half double crochets in the center and join with a slip stitch to the last half double crochet. Whoops, my yarn split a little. There we go. And this is the way it will look. You'll have a little hole there, and that's going to be your button loop. Now we're done with our main color here. So we're going to go ahead and cut our yarn. All right, let's join in our new color. And we're going to turn our work because we're going to begin by stitching in the loop. We're going to go in this chain 4 loop that we made, and we're going to stitch 4 single crochets, going right in that loop, and that's going to be our buttonhole. Now we're going to just single crochet down the side, working down and all the way back up. And it's a little confusing when you're working down the sides instead of working in the stitches. And so what I try to do is when I work a half double crochet, I try to put 2 stitches in the end of each of the half double crochet rows. And I also try to make sure I get in the stitches if I can. And basically this is just called working evenly down the side. And it's up to you how close together you want to put your single crochet stitches. If you want them nice and tight, you can do them tight up close, or you can space them out. It's what look you want your coffee cozy to have. I like them to be close, but I don't want them to be on top of each other. And so we're just going to work down the side. Sometimes you can put the single crochet in a hole, and sometimes you'll want to put it in the stitch itself. There is not an exact number of stitches that you need. It's whatever look you want your coffee cozy to have, and what way you think looks neatest. So we're going to continue to work down to here, and when we get to this corner, we're going to put 2 single crochets in that corner, and then we'll single crochet across the bottom and put 2 single crochets in that corner as well. I work down the side of my cozy, and now I'm going to place 2 single crochets in that corner. I've already got one, and I'm going to place another one. And what that does, it just helps it ease around the corner better so that it stays laying flat. And now I'm just working across the bottom. This is the chain where we started. Just working across the bottom of it. Get that string out of the way there. Move that tail out of the way. Now I'm in the next corner, so I'm going to go ahead and put a second single crochet in that corner, and then just begin working up the second side here of my coffee cozy. I always call them coffee cozy, and someone told me they were called koozies. It doesn't matter to me which thing you call them. I like it both. Koozie's kind of fun to say though. Alright, so I'm working my way back up, and when I get back up to the top, I'm going to join to the first single crochet and tie off, and then we'll add that star. I finished single crocheting up the other side. I'm going to join to the first single crochet, and I'm going to cut that and tie off. And then I'll pull that to the back so I can weave that in, and we'll get back to that in a little bit. What I want to show you next is how to add the star, and I think this is a really neat way to do it. You're going to need a little bit of your yarn. I'm going to say about 24 inches. You need to decide where you want to center your star, and I put it up a little bit because when you put this on, it wraps like this, so you want to try to make sure your star is centered. So what you're going to do is up a little ways, you're going to make about a 2-inch straight stitch, and you'll have to eyeball it to make sure it's nice and straight. Then we're going to come up centered from that center of that line from the bottom, and make sure you leave yourself a little bit of a tail to weave in when we're done on the back. And we're going to go right in that corner and come out that corner, and then we'll go right in there, and then take a good look at it, make sure that you like where it's at. And that's the first triangle. Now we're going to make a second one, and we're going to start by making a stitch about right there. So we'll come up on this side. You want to line up here, and then you're going to want to come down here, like that. Then we'll go back into that side, and we'll come back on this corner and come right down there. Now, that's how I make the Star of David. Now on this one, it's quite a bit bigger, the star is, and I doubled the yarn. It's up to you if you want to do that. I kind of like this one a little smaller. The size of the star is up to you. You can do it as wide as you want. This one's only about maybe an inch, inch and a half, where the other one is about 2 inches. So that's up to you how big you want to make your star. If you want to double it, you just go back over what you did. We started at the bottom, go across, go back up at the top, make that first triangle. And I think by doing a double one, it kind of gives it a three-dimensional look, which I really like. Okay, so now we're going to make the second triangle that we made so that we can finish the star. There we go. Get in there. There we go. And that's how you make the star. It's so much fun, and I love how it looks. And we just pull it to the back, and basically I go ahead and make a little bit of a knot, because you know I'm a rebel when it comes to crochet. And if you're worried about that coming undone, you can dot it with a little fray check if you want to. Okay, so there's our star, and now we need to just add our button. And you need to put this on whatever mug that you're going to use, or cup, because you can even use it on a can of soda or something. So decide where you want your button. Just use your needle and thread and sew that button on. Make sure you sew it several times so it stays put, because that button's going to be used. And then go ahead and tie a knot in the back, and again you can add a little fray check if you're worried that that's going to come undone. And we need to take a minute and weave this end in, but basically that's how you make, let's string out of the way, the coffee cozy. And that's a great gift for the adults at your party. So now let's see how we can take this pattern and make the Gelt bag out of it. For the Gelt bag, we're going to begin exactly like we did for the coffee cozy. We're going to chain 11. We're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we'll place 1/2 double crochet across, chain 1, and then we'll repeat that for 18 rows, just like we did the coffee cozy. When you get to the last row, which is our 18, we're not going to do the decrease. We're going to skip down to what I call BR 19, which is bag row 19. And I pulled my last stitch out there. There we go. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put the 2 ends together. So we'll go right in the half double crochet here and the first stitch here, and we'll stitch a row of single crochets. Basically, we're stitching it together to form a tube to make our bag out of. So we go in here, we go over across, pull up a loop, yarn over, and close it up. And that's how we make the side of the bag sewn closed. Make sure it's all lined up. Let's string out of the way there. All right. Once you get to the top of the bag, it will be a tube, just like that. And this is how we're going to make our bag. So what we're going to do, we're going to place a single crochet around the top of the bag. So we'll go right in that first stitch, which is the end of the row, and stitch a single crochet. And you're going to need 20 single crochets. We have 18 rows, and then we also have where we sewed it together. So we're going to need 20 single crochets around the top of our bag. If you get 1 or 2 more, it's okay. And if you get 1 or 2 less, it's fine also. We just want to kind of go for 20. That gives us a nice opening for our bag. There we go. Almost back around. There we go. It's like I need one more stitch right there. And then we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. And that's because we're going to do 2 rows of double crochet, and that's going to give us something to put our drawstring through. So we'll just place 1 double crochet in each stitch around. The chain 3 here does count as 1 double crochet. Just in case you're not sure what a double crochet is, yarn over, go in the stitch, and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, and yarn over and go through the second 2. That's a double crochet. And we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets around, and then we'll join to the top of our chain 3. I finished my row of double crochets around the top of my bag. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And now I'm going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And then once we get back around, we'll join to the top of our chain 3, and then we're going to change to the blue so we can put a blue trim on the top of our bag. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then join to the top of the chain 3. I join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch. I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to add in the blue yarn so I can just put a single crochet row for a trim on the top of my bag. And now I'm going to single crochet in each of the double crochets around. When I get back around, I'll join to that first single crochet, and then I'll tie off. I joined and tied off, and I still need to weave that in. I'll do that after a little bit. But I want to show you how to close the bottom of your bag. Super simple. You just decide where you want the center, because here's that seam we added. We want that to be in the back in the center. And you just join your yarn going through both thicknesses. And I chose to do the matching color. You don't have to. And all we're going to do is we're just going to single crochet across the bottom going through both thicknesses so that we're sewing the bottom closed the same way we did the back. Make sure you put your stitches close together so that the kiddos don't lose their goodies out the bottom of the bag. We don't want any kiddos crying because their gold coins fell out, or their toys or other goodies. There we go. Didn't want to go through right there. I like using the same color because it blends in better, even if you stitches aren't exactly perfect, because this portion it's hard to get them just perfect. Alright, so we stitched across the bottom. We're going to cut that off, and then we'll take a few minutes and weave those ends in. And it's very important that these ends don't come out. So we'll go ahead, take our needle, and thread that tail on there. And I like to make a couple of whip stitches in that corner and then go right in that stitch and go through some more stitches, just kind of going across the bottom. Here we go. It came off my needle. It happens. There we go. All right. And we'll do the other one the same way. And so the next thing that this needs is it needs its tie. And then you'll sew on the star the same way that we did on the coffee cozy. On this one, because I made it in blue, I did the drawstring and the trim and the star in white. Since I'm making this one in white, I'm going to do the drawstring in blue. And the way we do the drawstring is we make our slip knot, and then we chain 35 or more, however long you want your drawstrings to be. Once you get your drawstring as long as you would like it, we'll just cut the end off, tie it off, and then we'll just make a nice little knot in the end of it and clip that off. And we'll do the same thing where we started. Make a little knot and clip that off. And the easiest way I have found to putting the drawstring through is to decide where the beginning is and use the back of your hook to go back and forth through the stitches. You can do one or you can do two, however you want to do it. Then you put the hook on the chain and pull it through. I just find it works really easy by using the back of the hook as my guide. Grab the drawstring, and I do this on probably any drawstring that I do on any sort of bag or article that I make. And we'll just go ahead and bring it up to there. Alrighty. And then we can just pull that drawstring closed and tie a little knot. Then they can keep their goodies in there. You can leave it tied or not. And the only thing left that this needs is the star. And the star is put on exactly the same way that we did for the cozy. You make the triangles upward and downward exactly the same on the bag that we did on the cozy. And of course you can decide what size star that you want. And that's how easy it is to make a coffee cozy or a Gelt bag so that you can have a wonderful item to give to your family and friends to remember your Hanukkah party.